Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of the Roundtable, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas. I'm Aaron Phillips, the voice. I got the mouth, George Miklos. How are you, sir?
Good. The mouth is alive and kicking.
And we are missing, once again, he's not under the table or anything, is he? Rick Upchurch, our good third partner, dear friend. He is still out in Ohio enjoying family time, and there's some function going on that kept him out there a few extra days. So, Rick, we miss you, and hopefully we look forward to having you back in studio next week with us. We are the home, Las Vegas is, to the NHL Stanley Cup winners, the Vegas Golden Knights. That's right. There you have it. That's it.
There you are,
baby. 5 games, 9-3. When that game ended, I turned to my wife, who had a friend over at the house watching the game with us. And I said, 9 goals has got to be some sort of record for a single playoff game. And next morning on ESPN, they validated what I said. 9 goals was the largest amount of goals scored in a clinching game, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals. So
that's right.
Well, wasn't the captain is the only one in history that did a hat trick?
Yeah, 3 goals
in the clinching game.
Right.
That's correct. And of course, you know what? You got to be happy for the 5 original Knights from 6 years ago. And I don't know, Bill Foley did it. Maybe he had Mystic Mona with him, but he said 6 years and we'll have a Stanley Cup.
And they did it then.
Absolutely.
They almost did it the first year.
Absolutely.
They should have.
And that raised expectations and prices, by the way. A friend of mine who I saw on Facebook, and he took pictures, 2 tickets, and he was 8 rows from the top. Want to take a guess what it cost him for tickets, parking, everything else?
Couple grand I'm going to throw out there.
$2,000 for 2 tickets, parking, and everything else. But you can say you were there for the clincher and those 20,000 maniacs or whatever they had out there in the pavilion outside the stadium.
Yes, I saw that.
You couldn't have put a piece of paper between 2 people over there. That was a lady that I work with at the school. I saw her post on Facebook. She and a friend of hers were actually down there. How she made it to work the next day, God only knows. But anyway, if you're watching us on Facebook, thank you so very much. Of course, you have options there on the TRT page as well as the WWDBTV channel. Also on YouTube under the same names. If you're driving around town here in Vegas and in the Pacific time zone, it's 4 o'clock-ish, which means you guys get ready to head out for work, maybe a little early. Please make sure you download the WWDBTV phone app to your Android if you have an iPhone, WWDBTV LV for your iPhone products. And if you miss it all, that's okay. You can go back to Facebook and YouTube to rewatch. Or if you have Roku, download the WWDBTV channel to Roku. Not only rewatch TRT, but also the many titles of shows that equal the amount of names on the rings of the Stanley Cup. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
That's a plethora of names, isn't it?
Plethora.
Quite a few. So you can catch us there as well. And of course, you can call in 702-992-3207. If you're on YouTube, send your comments in. John will pick them up, and he'll be able to show it to us on the screen.
I'm glad you remembered all that shit.
You think this is my first rodeo,
right?
I had to deprogram from prior information and learn new information.
Right.
Yeesh. How many times have I done that in 17 and a half years? Anyway, so congratulations to our Knights now also.
Unbelievable.
First time, champions, our Knights.
Yeah.
But there was also a first time ever champion after 47 years in the NBA this week.
Yes, there was. The Denver Nuggets.
That's right.
Now, I'm glad that they won it. I had this issue. I mentioned it to you guys before that my dream NBA finals was always the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Celtics being my favorite team. And, of course, I wanted them and the Lakers. That's the biggest rivalry in the NBA. They're both tied at 17 titles. I wanted that 18th one, but not against Denver.
Right.
So I'm glad Denver got there, and I'm glad they did what they did.
Did you see the stat? You probably saw it, so I'm going to repeat it for those who may not have seen this. The Denver Nuggets, being in the league 47 years, whatever it was,
75.
They have the most amount of playoff wins as a franchise without ever winning a title.
Isn't that amazing? I saw that too, and I was
Right.
going. I started thinking, well, wait a second, how is that possible? But I know they have their statistics.
Yeah, the statistician. But keep in fact, what the early '70s though, middle to late '70s, I guess they had some great teams.
They did.
That played, went to the playoffs,
And the early '90s too.
and the early '90s also. So look, they have that track record of getting into the playoffs. But the Joker, man, he tore it up.
That guy, when they interviewed after him, he was real solemn. He goes, "Well, the job is done. I just want to go home."
Right.
Now they were also discussing these players from Eastern Europe that come over here to play, that how much more mature they are because of the lifestyles and the lives that they had to live when they're growing up.
Sure.
And how the desire to make it was, I'm not going to say the desire of American players aren't the same, but in Europe and some of these guys that are real serious, they come to America and they really work hard to get where they're at. And the Joker is one of them. He deserves everything that he's got. That's why he's the MVP the last 2 seasons.
But did you hear something funny about? He was interviewed today. I forgot what network it was. He also won the MVP award
For the game itself.
He lost the trophy.
What do you mean lost it?
He lost his MVP trophy.
Take it in the locker room. You take a shower.
Well, here's the thing. He gave it to the equipment manager to hold. And somehow
the equipment manager lost it.
Well, look for it on eBay.
Right.
But usually like the day after the finals or the 2 days after, whoever the MVP is, maybe it was ESPN, it could have been NBC, one of those shows, they usually have the trophy with them.
Right.
And so he starts the interview and somebody asks him, so where's your, well, he says, I lost it. Well, look, at least he only lost that trophy.
Right.
He didn't lose anything else. But yeah, that was just.
And he didn't blame it on the equipment manager.
No, he didn't. He did not. I'm sure it got caught up in
misplaced,
some equipment or
right,
something. Right. But yeah, so that was kind of interesting that he didn't have the MVP trophy with him. Look, even for the Golden Knights, Marchessault, one of the original Knights, won the series MVP for the NHL as well. I thought it could have gone to Eichel as well. Stone, the guy was ridiculous. After a while, he had the 2 goals. Trying to get that third goal in the empty net just became like an arcade game by the time he finally hit it the third time. But it was, listen, great feeling for everybody. I'm so glad they finished it off, because if they didn't finish it off when they did, I had a lot of fear, even though they would have still been up 3-2. But going back,
I agree.
Then you come back here at 3-3.
You have to win it at home, and they did exactly what they had to do.
Not only did they win it, now they also did not have Matt Tkachuk, which I don't know if that played a part in it, but he played game 4 with a cracked sternum.
They always come out later. Oh,
no, they said it before. They said it before the game last night. But what I'm saying is he just could not get on the ice because of how the injuries were up. But I'll tell you what, I did not like his style of play. I thought he was a thug, a kind of throwback to the old Flyers style, right?
Which is I like that stuff.
Well, but here's the one move that really bothered me. I don't know if it was game 1 or 2, whatever it was, and one of our guys, it might have been Stone or a Petrangelo maybe. One of the Panthers was behind him in a little chokehold.
Right.
Not chokehold, but it was around his chin, holding him back.
Subway hold.
And then Tkachuk comes up while he's being held, pops him in the face. I'm like, what?
Now that should be
right. And that was when I'm like, you know what, dude? There's no call for that. The guy is held back. He's in a prone position where he cannot defend himself by one of your own players, and you're going to go up and pop him in the face? Sorry.
Well, I just hope the state of Florida, I hope you get over it. We don't want to see you on suicide watch.
Between them and the Heat.
It was a 24-hour period. A 24-hour period.
Yeah. But then again, you know what, though? Even though they lost and the Heat, Spoelstra and those guys, Spoelstra's a great coach. They were just outmanned, in just talent-wise. But there were plenty of other teams in them our leagues that would have loved to have been at least in the finals, like Miami got to against Denver, and like the Panthers got in against the Knights. And you got to give Panthers credit, man. They were an 8 seed in the playoffs.
But same as the Heat was, or same as but I will tell you the way they played the other game, that at the very last second when the goal was missed by the Knights, it hit the bar,
hit the
and
crossbar.
then as soon as 0-2-1-0, boom, they had to fight the brawl, and that was all the Panthers. Frustration sets in, and they knew then that it was
Aiden
over.
Hill, our goalie at the end of that, I guess it might have been the same thing. Aiden Hill, our goalie, he had enough. He when it hit 0 and the horn sounded, which was part of that after game brawl the other
Right.
night. He took whoever was in front of him in a white jersey and a cross check to get out of the crease, and then he jumped into the pile.
Right.
So give Aiden Hill, because I'll tell you what, the Knights could have lost their cool in so many different times and gotten penalty. Game 4, there were only 2 penalties,
Right.
one on each team. Unfortunately, ours caused a lot of heartache
Right.
because it created a 6-on-4 situation with less than 2 minutes, and thank God we survived it. And then even game 5, the clinching game, there weren't a ton of penalties. The refs let them play, which in a championship is good. So I'm glad for that. But there was one commercial on game 5 that ran that I caught it. My wife and I caught it, and it was a commercial about heart risk, how stress causes heart risk and everything else. And the commercial was based on, when your team is in the finals and they're trying to win, that too can cause high stress and high heart. And I'm yelling at the TV, of course it does.
Right.
It was just the placement. Whoever came up with that commercial and the placement of that commercial in period 3 with less than 5 minutes to go, we're up 3-2. Brilliant. That person should get a gazillion-dollar bonus and retire.
And an Emmy.
And because you're not going to beat that.
And it probably costs $1 million for that spot. So
Well, I don't know. Well, how much do you think it would cost? Because it's not the Super Bowl where we know 30 seconds.
2 or 3 million in
You
the
think
Super
so?
Bowl. So Stanley
Even on
Cup,
TBS,
yeah,
though?
even half.
It was on TBS though. It wasn't on an NBC or CBS though.
Still, heck, even half.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's got to be in that era.
I would agree. Maybe at least $1 million tops,
Right.
perhaps. But I mean, I don't see the same 5 or 6 mil for 30 seconds
Right,
at the Super Bowl.
right. That's totally different.
My goodness gracious. But anyway, so if you've been sleeping under a rock, at least here in Vegas, and we're going to go over this after the break, we're going to kind of warm it up. It was announced yesterday that the celebratory parade for our Knights, and we'll get into a discussion on the other side of the break because I posted this on my Facebook wall, will be Saturday night, 7 p.m., ending at approximately 9 p.m. I will say that for local or anywhere that you want to watch it, you can look up KVVU Fox 5 here in Vegas. They will be streaming it on their social media pages live. Can we steal that feed? Would they know if we steal it here on WWDB and air it on our network?
Not if I did it.
Okay.
There you go.
See, that's
you heard it live.
No, we don't do that.
No,
kind of
we
thing
don't
here.
do that. We are above board under the desk. Anyway, so that is
Check us out Saturday.
right. And right, we don't lie, but check us out at 7 p.m. Anyway, but so from 7 to 9, the strip will be, and I don't want to say it yet. We'll get into it on the other side of the break. But the portion of where the parade is, the strip will be closed. Okay.
Well, I know the ending is going to be right in front of the
right. They're going
correct.
to T-Mobile
there.
They're going to be outside in the
right.
What is it? They call it the atrium or whatever outside.
There's they have a name for it. Plaza something.
Yeah, something Plaza. T-Mobile Plaza.
No, there's another name. I think they named it after somebody.
The Roundtable Plaza.
Yeah, I think that's it.
TRTP.
Right.
TRTP. So we'll cut off here for break a few minutes early so we can kind of leave that tease. I did ask this question about the parade route. What's your thoughts on the parade route being the same parade route that the WNBA Las Vegas Aces, who won their championship here in town?
Should it be longer?
Right. Should it be longer? What's it saying that it's the same size? We'll get your opinion on that if you so choose. I'll share opinions on Facebook about it.
Here's a good one for John to get the. Are the Las Vegas Aces really a legit sports league in the United States? I want to hear from
What's
you
your
guys.
definition of legit? Let me get that.
Well, first of all, they've only been around 20 years.
Okay.
And nobody goes to the game.
Well, I don't think that's the case.
Well,
have you gone to them?
No.
So how do you know who's going?
Well, because I've seen the people and who they have been. Where do they play at? The Michelob Ultra Arena. What's the one that's at Mandalay Bay? Seats maybe 3,000, and they might get a couple hundred, maybe. I don't know. I just think, and then the mistake was what the president mentioned. Well, the first major sports championship in Las Vegas. That's how I looked at it. I can't even imagine that being a mistake. But
so
if you guys heard it,
right?
Give us your opinion about Las Vegas Aces. Are they legit sports franchise, or
they better be if the NBA is backing them.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why they're back, and nobody goes to the game. So
no, they're just the creation of the league, though.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, we'll save the rest of that when we come back.
Don't throw shit at me.
No,
I can feel it now. I can feel it already now.
What is your definition of a legit team / league in order to, is the MSL a legit league?
Soccer? No.
Lacrosse?
No, you got 4 major sports leagues in the United States: football, basketball, hockey, and baseball. That's it. That's the 4.
Curling?
That's curling. Is that my hair? Do I have a curler?
Listen, ESPN covers cornhole. That's got to mean something.
Well, they're covering what I'm doing now, the Call of Duty sports, the video game, and it's on ESPN Plus.
That's
and
right.
ESPN
Well,
3.
Dodgeball was on ESPN Ocho.
Unbelievable.
At least
man.
according to the movie it was.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
the Roundtable, the mouth and the voice without Rick
Mouth
Upchurch.
and
We'll
the
be right
voice.
back. We got to.
Hello, everybody. It's me, President Trump, greatest president in the history of presidents, and I've been on a lot of shows, believe me, but the best one by far is Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. This guy is so amazing. What a great interviewer, and you can catch him every Saturday from 12 to 1. 12 to 1. It's a tremendous show. You know why? I was on it, and the ratings went through the roof. Check it out on WWDBTV. That's WWDBTV. It's huge.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Boing.
Welcome back to the round. He gets me every time when he does that.
Boing.
You know, he's got a challenge now. I said this on the Kiwanis Connect show on Friday that we do. His challenge every time, especially when I do a show on my own, at least with you, we have a little buffer.
Right.
He tries to do stuff back there to crack me up in the middle of the show, especially when I'm interviewing somebody. Okay. And so last week, I don't know what we did. Oh, we did the earache thing. That's what it was. Remember, Patrick was not feeling well last week,
Right.
Patrick Frazee.
Right.
So Friday, I'm doing this serious interview with 3 people, Kiwanis, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking in the camera because we're all online, right? And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see John back there kind of slide out like this, take his headset off, rub his ear, and then mouth to me, I have an earache. And so I had to turn because I started laughing, and I had to give a little disclaimer to my guests. I mean, no disrespect, I said, but John tries to kill me in front of, so that's why when he does all this stuff, he tries to.
Well, here's a
nail me,
challenge
but-
for John.
Yes.
It is being in part of improv comedy and stand-up comedy over the years. It's very hard to make me laugh. So I can
Have
throw
you looked in the mirror?
I don't laugh when I look in the mirror. I'm like, but that's a challenge to you. The only thing that would throw me off, not necessarily
Well, you shouldn't
laugh,
tell him.
would be porn, or maybe Donna Summer in the background. Love to love you, baby.
Can I
Remember
start
that
doing the
song?
show over there, please?
Yeah,
in
remember
Studio
that
2?
song? That would throw me off. Yeah, that one might throw me off if I heard the voices.
Well, we don't have a headset on to hear
Right,
that
so
stuff
I can,
anymore.
yeah, so
I got plenty of porn.
that'll throw me off. If all of a sudden it went on the screen, boop, I'd be in trouble.
Oh my Lord, where
And I
have we?
can do that too. I can put it up on this screen. But
And nobody else sees it?
I figured you could.
God. Oh my Lord. So if you see George fall off the chair in about 5 minutes, you'll
Or
know
you see
why.
the table, this part of the microphone start to go like this.
Oh God, it's a good thing Rick's not here right
That's
now.
right.
Anyway, welcome back. We started a conversation, I think, before break about the parade and stuff for the Knights, and I actually posted this on my Facebook page. Obviously, the parade, well deserved, as it is for every championship team. I mean,
I'm disappointed, really, a block.
well, let's talk about that. So, as I'm going to bring up the article.
Let him know what the WNBA parade route
I
was.
will in 1 second.
And,
let me get the.
And they want to make it the same parade. Come on, man.
Well, here's the thing.
NHL's been around 100 and some years. What could you? I thought that, when we were sitting at home thinking about the parade route, I thought, well, shit, they might go all the way around town, start at Fremont, come down the boulevard.
So
I thought they might do something.
I thought it. You know what? I thought Spring Mountain down to T-Mobile would be a nice size.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So here's
Fair
what's
enough.
happening. 7 p.m. Pacific. The parade will take place and start at Flamingo Road at the Boulevard on the Strip side. Clark County said both sides of the Boulevard will be closed. Of course, that means they also have to. They can't. close down the
I'm
street,
visualizing
because
okay.
of the buses and all that stuff has to
Right.
come through, right? The route extends to Tropicana Boulevard and culminates in a rally at Toshiba Plaza
That's it.
and the Park District in front of T-Mobile at approximately 9 p.m. So in theory, when they get to T-Mobile Arena,
A
and
mile maybe.
they're not even at Tropicana. Yes,
Yeah.
it's technical. It's a little like
short.
your yards.
So it's not even a mile.
It's a block.
Yeah.
It's a Vegas block. Now, granted, from Flamingo to Trop,
Between a half mile and a mile.
it's a pretty big block.
Still though, like you said, Spring Mountain, or at least God, I thought maybe going down the strip, everybody honking,
Right.
and all that. That'll probably happen. But just for that one, I mean, really, how can you? I think it's an insult to the hockey team, to be honest with you.
Well,
It
here's
is.
So here's the thing. So how many people do you think? I mean, you spend a lot more time on the strip in
Yes.
terms of your work and stuff. How many people do you think from Flamingo to Trop on both sides? And I'm just talking about people there standing outside.
Amount of people.
Amount of people.
I
How
would
many you
guess
guess?
50 to 100,000.
Okay. Now take that number
Okay.
and add the potential just eyeballs on the parade from all the casinos and all their rooms, right? People are going to hang out in their rooms.
Okay, 150. If you
No,
want to go.
I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
So here you have. I thought the numbers on the ground would be a little bit higher than 50 to 100,000. I mean,
Well, like New Year's would be like 300,000. So,
but the strip is closed off though from beginning to
all
end.
the way, right?
Right.
So you figured half that. I
Okay,
guess.
so all right, I'll buy 100,000
Yeah.
eyeballs. That's all right. My thought though is a couple of things. It's 7:00 at night on a Saturday night, which in a way makes sense. You're going to party on a Saturday night in Vegas. You
And
might as well
And
enjoy
the
the
sun
parade.
goes down about 8. The lights will go on and that kind of thing. And
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be a whole big production for it. I, for one, will be home watching it on streaming. It's 7:00. I'm not going down there.
well, I'll be at the Thomas and Mack until 3. So I'm thinking, well, I don't
Leave
know.
your car and walk is what your
Yeah,
best
I'm
bet's
thinking
gonna
I'm already
be.
down there. I don't know if I'm going to go home or not and come back.
What are you going to do
Probably
for
not.
4 hours?
I know that's the thing. I probably won't go.
I know there's a gentleman's club across the street. I've read.
Well, yeah, but I can't. Honey, you're not watching, are
And
you?
Donna Summers is appearing there this Saturday.
Honey, I won't be home Saturday night. I'll be out. I'll be gone. And she's been dead and she'll still come back.
Anyway, so my thought is, and we were talking about before that, you do it in the evening at really middle of June. It's hot during the day. I grant all that. Tomorrow's supposed to drop down to the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So we're going to cool off. We've been looking at thunderstorms for the last 24. It hasn't rained on this side.
And
of
we
town.
haven't hit 100 yet this summer.
Not yet. Has it rained by
Officially.
you the last couple of days?
We sprinkled, I think 2 or 3 days ago. There was kind of a little sprinkle.
Gotcha. So
but
just
nothing
little
enough to
sprinkles.
mess your car up after you just got it washed.
That's right. So I get that the temperature is different. It'll be a little cooler at 7:00. I get that, where people will have a tendency to pass out less because of the
Right.
heat, but they're going to pass out because they're drunk.
Right.
Okay.
Not
So,
being
so
me.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, people are going to be drinking. That's one of the reasons you're going to do on a Saturday night. People are here partying and having a good time. They're going to spill out of the casinos, literally and figuratively.
And that's a cool spectacle for people that don't live here to see. They may not be Las Vegas
True.
Golden Knights fans or even
But
hockey,
be part of a parade.
but to
Sure.
see this and be a part of it, and they'll remember it forever.
I agree with that. I think there's a spectacle to that.
Yeah.
To me, though, I wonder if the casinos, in any way, shape, or form, put up any type of discussion about why would you do it on a Saturday night that's from 7 to 9 instead of a Tuesday night from 7 to 9. You know what I'm saying? Granted, we have more people in town on a Saturday along the lines of what you were just talking about. But to me, it's like, why on a Saturday night at 7:00? It just seems to be, I don't know.
Well, first of all,
Right.
they just won it 48 hours ago, so they need time to figure it out. Plus, they want to do it sooner than later, another 3
Sure.
days or another 4 days.
Sure.
Right now, everybody's it's really a hot thing right now. Everybody's,
Right.
yeah, they won. They still the high is still there.
Right.
So yeah, the parade, 3 or 4 days later is not a bad.
That's
thing.
true.
I think it'll be good for the casinos because
Of course, it's gonna.
everybody will be in a party mood. They're up, they're raising hell. The night's won. Yeah, it's all excitement. Go into the casino and lose all your money.
That's it. Period.
And all that euphoria goes away.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that is the parade route for the Knights. Now, the question that I raised on my Facebook page, if I can go back to it here, because I'm busy tooling around and looking at other stuff, is the fact my question was, what are your thoughts on the route of the parade from this standpoint? Let's put George's thoughts about WNBA on the side for
On
1
the
second.
side burner.
On the
Light it up.
on the that's right. So In a lot of people's eyes, regardless of attendance, the WNBA is recognized as a national game. Okay. It's not the Big Four.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to give you another comparison. What are the Big Four bowl games played every college year? Right?
Well,
That make up the playoffs.
Cotton Bowl, you got the Rose Bowl, you got the Orange Bowl.
And the ones that, but the four main ones are the ones that make up the college playoff.
And then you
right?
have like 10 or 15 others over the years that have Peach Bowl.
Well, Peach Bowl and Cotton Bowl, they've been around a long time.
Right.
The Poinsettia Bowl, however.
Yeah.
The
Then
New
you got
York
all
Yankees Pinstripe Bowl.
the Oscar
okay.
Mayer Wiener Schnitzel Bowl. I mean, yeah, they have all kinds of them.
So what you're saying is because the WNBA is not a major league team in your eyes,
Right.
they fall in the category of all those non-football bowls
Correct.
that are not part of the Final Four college football playoffs.
I agree.
Even though they rotate.
Yeah, it's just the four big bowl games. That's all. They've been around 100 years.
No, but I'm talking not the bowl games. I'm talking about the bowls that they use for the playoffs. It's not the
even
same
the other
four.
ones. Yeah, the Peach Bowl, this bowl, the Oscar Mayer Bowl. Whatever.
You have the Rose Bowl. You have what's the other one?
The Cotton
Big
Bowl?
Ten. No, the Orange Bowl. God, what did they do? What did they have last year? What were the four crap locations for the four major stadiums?
Pasadena's one. With
Right.
the
Well,
Rose
that's the
Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
You got Dallas for the Cotton Bowl.
All right. Let's say
You
Dallas.
got Miami for
okay.
the Orange Bowl.
So let's say, all right. So let's use those four as an example, right? So you have the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and what's another big one that they usually have? The Alamo Bowl.
Okay.
Because that's a big one.
Well,
That's been around.
yeah,
No, that's
kinda.
been around a long time.
Yeah.
It's been around a long time. So those are the four bowls for this year, let's say, that make up the college football playoff. Now, there's
Right.
other major bowls, not the Poinsettia Bowls,
Right.
not the like Meineke Muffler Bowl,
Right.
You know,
all this stupid.
but they're still the traditional bowls.
Right.
They're still in the mix.
Right.
But that year, they're not part of the college playoff. But the following year, they might be. But for the year that they're not, does that make them any lesser bowls? The ones that are not part of the playoffs?
Most of those teams are.
It's not
top
teams.
10.
It's not teams. It's located. The arenas used for the playoff series is not team related.
No, you're right. But the bowls are big. They're big no matter who plays in them. It's still the Cotton Bowl. It doesn't matter who.
But they're
plays.
not part of the CFP, let's say, for this year. Does that make them any less bowls than the four main ones that will be used in any given year to
So you're
crown
saying
the
the four main ones are for the top ranked teams, is what you're.
Well, no, what I'm right. They're the ones that the committee says we're going to go. You guys are in the playoffs. My point is,
The Cotton Bowl is still the Cotton Bowl, even though the top teams may
even though they're not part
Yeah.
of the four bowl games that make up the championship.
But most of the time they are. But I wouldn't. It's still the Cotton Bowl, regardless if it's.
But if they're not in
team
the
number
college
8 and
football
number 2.
playoffs for that year, does that make them a lesser bowl than the one being used? If the Cotton Bowl is not being used this year and the Rose Bowl is, does that make the Cotton Bowl any less important than this?
Well, the Rose Bowl's been around a long.
I'm not asking that question. I'm not asking 10
Yeah,
years
it
of the
does
bowl
make
game.
it less important. Well,
Okay, stop.
yeah.
Say what you just said.
Yeah, but it makes it.
So
less
every year there's four important locations in college football for the playoffs.
But they usually use the same four every year.
There are a couple staples that are the same, yes. But my point is, though, that folks, I went a long way to
The
get this-
WNBA,
because he wasn't cooperating.
the WNBA has
You said there's the four major leagues, and I agree with
Yeah.
you. You have baseball, football, hockey, and basketball.
period. Now you got women's this, women that. First of all, the women's sports right now is being set back half a century.
Oh, that's a whole
with all
other
this
topic
other
for a
crap
show.
going on. So
Don't bring that one up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
The WNBA was established in
20 years ago.
1996,
Yeah.
27 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as far as the attendance for the Las Vegas Aces, they are averaging 5,600 per game.
Is this in the last year?
Over their history.
No, that was just in 2022.
You know what? If Brittany Griner had not been arrested in Russia,
She was arrested after the league was over. Had
That's
nothing to
right.
do with the attendance.
That's
no,
right.
but what I'm saying, she was in 2022. That's been a year ago. The attendance probably has gone up since
But
she
that's
got
not
out.
what he. But that's not the stat he gave us. He
Well,
gave us for
5,600.
2022.
That's still nothing. That's still.
I would love to know
So
that.
they fill 50% of the stadium.
I would love to
Where
know
are they
that.
playing at?
Right.
If it's 50%, 12,
Well, it's
13,000.
10,000. So
You
it's
said
probably
there's
the arena.
10,000 seat.
You said it's probably the arena that
Well,
you said.
Mandalay Bay is the Michelob Ultra, and I don't think they set it up for more than 3,000 or 4,000 people. But that's okay. 5,600. I don't know.
So
It's still not a major.
of the WNBA teams, okay,
Go ahead.
so the top team as far as attendance goes is the Seattle Storm. at 10,631. The
Well,
bottom team for attendance out of the 12 teams is the Indiana Fever at 1,776. So you have Chicago, Connecticut, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and New York are all right there in the middle within,
5, 6, 7,000.
no, I mean, they're all right there in the 5,600,
Okay.
5,650.
So the
Right.
majority of the league,
5,640.
so the majority of the league is averaging that 5,000 to 6,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're right in with league numbers, but it's not 18,000 at
Right.
At Madison
T-Mobile
Square Garden
or-
for a Knicks game.
right,
Of course
right.
not. But they are a nationally recognized sports organized team. That's why I say MSL. That's a nationally recognized sports league. Major League Lacrosse.
They can make
Is
it,
it
they
national-
can recognize it all they want. It's the fans that have decide when they go to see these guys play and these women play. They're the ones that decide.
Well, I don't know, because those two sports are not big here in the
Well,
United States.
the WNBA, and they're not. Soccer's not.
Of course. So
Now-
it's an unfair comparison.
Now, because the WNBA, okay, 27 years, not a lengthy time for a major league sport, but I do think their attendance is going to get any better over the years, or it's going to stay the same. You think the popularity of the sport has gotten a little better? I don't know.
I think here in town with
is
the
it
Knights
gonna-
winning, I think it's going to help the Aces.
Is it good? Well, is it going to stagnate at some point and just kind of stay the NBA is foot in the bill for them. All these players, female
Mhm.
players, want to make the same as the NBA. Sorry, you're not going to
Well,
get
they're
paid
not going
$5,
to,
$10 million a year. You're not.
They're
Two,
there'll be a
300,000
select-
a year. Be grateful for
There'll
that.
be a select few that'll probably get close to 500,000 million.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But anyway, let's get back to it. So
Okay, so
Yeah.
when Rick was playing, how much was he making a year?
he was making under $100,000
I would.
a
I'm
year.
sure of
Now-
that. Yeah, 50 years ago.
Wasn't he playing for a team that was one of the major teams in a major league sport?
Denver Broncos with the NFL. Yes.
So he wasn't making that much money.
Well, that was 50 years ago.
Okay, so
45.
what do you think is going to happen in 25 or 50 years with the WNBA?
I don't think the WNBA is going to be around in the next 15 or 20 years.
Why not?
That they don't have enough support to end that to last another 20 years. I don't see that happening.
Okay, and why do you not see that happening?
Like you said, 5,000 people if they're lucky. There's no interest. There's no really interest in WNBA. Maybe some, but no, their interest isn't there. If you had a choice to go see the NBA game or a WNBA, NBA all the way. Nobody's going to go to a WNBA game. I don't know why. I'd like to interview some of the few people that go to those games. You said average 5,000. I'm just curious. Do
So-
they like just the game itself of basketball? It doesn't matter who's playing. People go just to see
So
it.
let's put a post out either on your wall and or the TRT page. If you attend WNBA games, we would like to interview you.
Yeah, we would.
Let's see what
I'm
kind of
curious to
response we
see
get.
what is it because it's just the game itself, or
Let's
do you
see
like
what
to see?
America has to say about that.
Right, America. Yeah, we'll have to set
We
up
can do
America
that
Speaks
under
for
America
that.
Speaks for that.
Yes.
Right?
So here is some of the comments that I got on my Facebook page. They are someone just clarifying that. Let's see, they won't be closing down the strip, the parade route, both sides. Chiefs had 1 million fans. Can you imagine 1 million down in that block lined up? Colorado Avalanche got an estimated 500,000. I don't think that area will be able to hold it. And how will people see anything if they are on the mini stage in front of T-Mobile? That's for the
Right.
pep rally afterwards. Let's see.
Again, you have to use Las Vegas too. There's a lot of stuff to do here, so a lot of people will probably be at that parade just by accident because they're staying at the hotel. I get it. Where the Avalanche or Denver, they had 1 million people. There's only 2 or 3 sports teams in those cities.
So here's something that was responded to in there. One of the folks responded. They said they actually had to shut down both sides of the strip when the Aces parade. They originally were only going to shut down one side of the strip for the Aces parade,
Okay.
but because of the number of people who actually showed up for the parade, that's when they'd actually had to decide to shut down both sides of the strip. So obviously there was interest in a parade for the Aces to win
A
because
parade's a parade. People could show up just because, oh, Mom, there's a parade. They're not all there for the WNBA. It's just like the Stanley Cup, this parade this weekend. They won't all be there because of the hockey. A lot of people go, oh, what's going on out there? There's going to be a lot of
I don't
those.
think there'll be a lot of looky-loos. If you don't know by now, coming to Vegas this upcoming weekend, whether you're a hockey fan or not, I don't care where you're coming from. If you don't know that the Knights have won the Stanley Cup and there's a parade this Saturday, go back under your fucking rock.
Well, they might.
So
I mean, I'm not a-
whether hockey fans or not, if they're planning on coming out here and have nothing to do with hockey, they're stupid for coming.
Well, some might have made the plans already for the week even before this without the hockey.
Cancel your plans or rearrange them if you're not going to be there. That's all. Screw that. Anyway, Thomas White says it's a weak ass parade, a Vegas block. He also brought up the Spring Mountain Start, which is what I had said. So there's mix. I mean,
What's the other mixes?
well, Tommy Zuniga, a friend of mine from the wrestling world, too much construction going on that route is
Okay.
perfect. Plus, they just opened up that stretch today. Okay. Lisa Land says they should run it on the F1 car racetrack, so at least goes on the strip at some point. That's not a bad idea either. My friend Shant, who works down at the strip also at the MGM as a security. Thanks for making me leave home early just so I can get to work on time,
Right.
as if I had to worry about the construction going on all over Vegas already. So that's
There's
listen.
gonna be a lot of unhappy campers too.
Right.
That's just the
But
way it is.
another friend responded to that. David Allen says, I'm supposed to pick up a few friends at the airport
See
and
ya.
bring them to Caesars Saturday night. Might be faster to walk.
Or they can stay at your house.
Yeah, exactly. At least for the one night.
Right.
Anyway, so, and this all stems from the reason I asked this, and we kind of touched on it at the top of the show. George and I were commenting about the comment that was made by President Biden congratulating the Knights as the first major sports organization in Las Vegas, which Aja
Can't even. Was that the
No.
basketball player?
yeah,
Have
I'm
you-
blanking
you don't
on it.
even know her name.
I do know her name. I'm blanking on it. You have me on the pressure. Anyway, the MVP for the Aces, she commented about how she felt and the team felt that President Biden threw shade at them for not acknowledging them as the first. They haven't even gone to the White House for their visit yet the LSU Tigers did for winning the women's.
And why is that? I mean, each team has their choice of
I don't know.
all the teams out. Well, we don't want to go.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's-
saying right now it still hasn't been
And again,
established
it's
yet.
an honor to go to the White House. Doesn't matter who the president is or whether you like him or not. Going to the White House to be celebrated as a by the president and the country as a winning team, you go. You just, if it doesn't matter if you like going this or don't like that guy or this guy or that, you go. You just go.
Well, there was a 1 year, didn't some teams boycott?
Oh,
going
it's
because, I mean,
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that was because the year before, all they served was hamburgers.
So what, man? That's what kids eat at 20 years old. They're going to lobster. They're not going to eat all that shit.
Oh,
they like
that's funny.
cheeseburgers and shit.
That's funny.
I
All
thought
right.
it was great.
So anyway, we'd love to hear your thoughts. I know in a little bit we're going to America Speaks. George has some topics there. Last week and I want to get your thoughts on this, George. We were kind of talking about it again, kind of getting ready for the show. On Aaron's Hour last week, I shared the fact the big sphere that's being built, MSG2
Yes.
or whatever it is, which is down off of Spring Mountain in Koval, in the back corner over there.
I was just there last night.
MSG LLC, whatever they are, James Dolan, who owns Madison Square Garden back east, along with the Knicks and the Rangers, owns this property here, the making of it. It's a $2.8 billion project. All right. Two construction companies here in town have filed lawsuits against Dolan and Company for a total of what amounts to about $6 million in total. And yesterday, these companies were supposed to go to court to discuss their situation. And Ryder Levitt, they have filed a $3.1 million lawsuit against MSG2 company, James Dolan himself, because this is stemming from more costs being involved from the creation of the world's largest bar that was supposed to be in the sphere.
Right.
That then Dolan said, you know what? I don't want it anymore. Take it out. It was already in there. So now they've overrun costs because now
They
this
had to pull it
company
out.
had to pull it out, which was extra cost. And so the $3 million was for taking out the bar.
Why
which,
did he say why he didn't want to
Nope.
keep the bar in there?
according to what I'm reading, and they want to dispose of Dolan and get his comments on it. The way the story reads is Dolan just said, you know what? I've changed my mind. I don't want it. So they're saying that this was done with the understanding in Dolan's mind that, well, I'm going to have him take it out and I'm not going to worry about paying him, kind of thing. That would be tough to prove. However, if you can prove the work and you didn't get paid for it, I'm sorry, you're owed the money, right?
So if he says, well, yeah, I don't want the world's longest bar in there. You gotta
After
take
his
it.
bill.
Right. Oh, after.
Correct.
Right.
Well, then you pull the bar out, which takes time and money,
Right.
and manpower, and you pay him
And
for
it's an
that
extra
particular
cost.
job.
Right.
Sorry,
Right.
that's just the way it is, Mr. Dolan.
That's why everybody wants them to sell the Knicks and the Rangers.
Yeah,
So this
get
is-
out. I mean, I
What
hate
a
these
terrible
cheap
business
owners.
plan.
Any businessman. I know where John's thinking. Any businessman that has money to pay their employees to do something, just do it. Or companies that build something for you, pay them. Pay them. That's all you got to
Otherwise,
do.
he should have just gone in with his own sledgehammer.
Right.
going
There
and
is no
getting out of
court. You pay them. Just
I
write
agree.
out the check and you can go home, you motherfucker. But you pay them. I don't get that. Doesn't matter who you are.
So they had that court hearing today. The other company, they have not had their court hearing as of yet. No decision was submitted yet, but yesterday was the court appearance for the first one.
I'm just curious in his mind, the world's largest bar. I thought Vegas was always about the world's largest, the
Right.
world's biggest, the biggest thing, the best. Why would you tear out the world's largest bar after it's already built? Now, that would be an attraction, so
You
to
would
speak.
think. You would think. Well, the Sphere itself is supposed to be the attraction,
Right,
of course.
But then having the world's largest bar inside, just another.
Sure.
And they had to use U2 as the opening band.
Well, think about
$10
that.
million
Tell me
for
where
YouTube.
Dolan's head is on this business.
Stiff
plan.
them.
Plus, they're getting merchandising sales, right? Plus, they're going to get tickets of gate as well. This is just $10 million from Dolan saying, we want you to come perform. This is not
Including everything else.
This is not everything else. They are getting everything else on top of that. Gate percentage, merchandising, and they're not playing just one show. They got a residency till the end of the year. So here's a business
If
plan.
they get open.
Well, here's the
They
business plan.
probably
It's
will.
cost
It's a big
$2 billion
project.
originally on paper to build this thing.
It's
Okay.
too big not to open.
Well, exactly. They need to open it now
Right.
somehow. $2 billion before door open, before ticket number one's even sold, they signed U2 to $10 million. Now, I have a degree in mathematics from a big university here in town. Let's say the place holds, and I'm saying for easy math here because it's not 20,000. It's, I think, like 17 and change. But let's say 20,000.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, a ticket for U2 for this is $200, mid-range seating. Okay, you're not going to have Golden Knights pricing for the opening. Maybe the first night you might have some higher prices, but let's say
Yeah.
$200. Just I'm picking a number again for easy math. What is 20,000 times 200? 400,000?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
I'm sorry, but if you take 400,000 and multiply it by, I don't know how many shows they're doing. Let's say they're doing 20 from the time they open in
To the end of
August
the year.
to the end of the year. If they do weekends only,
Right.
let's say.
Yeah.
So let's just call it 20 shows of 400,000. What's that? $8 million?
Right. Still short.
Ain't $2 billion, my friends. That building's going to open up so deep in the red, Satan's going to sign the checks.
Right. It's going to take 10 years to get out.
But that's not unusual in any type of venture. Casinos, any of that.
But how many people can walk through a casino in a month? 100,000 maybe?
Yeah.
Versus 40,000
And
for
it-
two shows a month
I'm
at the
not
Sphere?
talking about the dollar amount.
No,
I'm
being in the
opening
red.
In the red.
Absolutely.
You're gonna
Yes.
do that, and
Sure.
there's no,
But-
no getting away from
No,
it.
to every
But if
business.
you're too stupid.
Right. Well, every business starts in the red usually for up to 5 years maybe
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they hope to turn a profit. But you should have in your business plan a proper path that would get you out of the red as quickly as possible in
Sure.
theory. Because now if you're giving YouTube a percentage of the gate and merchandising, right? And you're going to get the rest, you still have to pay salaries off of that. The ushers, everybody that's there that
Right.
work in the place,
They're going
Your
to sell
net-
food in there and all
Right,
that stuff,
everybody, the
right?
concession-
Electricity, water.
the
air-
net amount that they're going to get is not, I wouldn't be surprised if it takes more than 10 years before they make up the $2 billion because they're going to have to keep signing acts after YouTube comes in. And it's only being used for concerts.
Well, I thought it was one of those planetarium things where you lay back and you
No.
see the space.
That's on the
I
outside.
thought that was part of it.
No. Inside is strictly
That's
a
the
concert.
Imaginarium.
Yes, sorry.
So I thought that might be part of it.
No,
No, just
no.
a concert hall.
And the only thing
We don't
that's
have
like
enough of
that
those.
is the outside
Will
is
be lit
a
up.
big screen.
Okay.
And I guess maybe there'll be some shows that after it sells out, they might show stuff on there. But all it is, that outside is just like a big round billboard.
I
That's
thought
all.
for some reason you'd get to
No.
go in there and planetarium and see the space.
No, you go to Imaginarium down at Area 15.
Right for that.
Or
Oh,
smoke a joint.
or smoke a joint.
That'll
Or watch us. That'll make you want to look up.
right.
Anyway, we're rounding around the corner here. We're up against our last break already, believe it or not.
Jesus.
Which means coming back, it's going to be time for America Speaks. I can't wait to hear what George
Oh,
has on
boy.
his mind and America's mind. When we come back, you're watching The Round Table.
I need a shot of
See
Jack
right
Daniels.
after this.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Ruh-roh.
All right, you know what time it is. We've got him so fired up over the NBA and everything at the WNBA and what makes for legitimate leagues and all that. So it can only mean one thing. It's time for America Speaks. America Speaks.
That sounded like me.
Yes, it is the opening on my show.
Right. All right, guys. America, this is America Speaks. This is where we get to hear from you, your comments on certain issues and subjects. It's not my opinion. It's not Rick's. It's not Aaron's.
Better
it's
not
not
be
John's.
Rick's. He's not here to get his opinion.
Right. So again, it's your comments that make this segment, America Speaks. Right now, if you guys were watching the NBA Finals, you probably saw in what was it? It was Game 4 where Conor McGregor was out there. I guess it was supposed to be a setup where he was hanging out and supposed to box with the Miami Heat mascot. He came out with gloves on, the mascot, and he's bouncing around. Conor McGregor, I don't know what the deal was, but he came up there and punched him in the face twice, and he fell down. And I think he hit his head on the floor because he needed medical attention. But when you have those big giant heads on there, I don't see how you get hurt.
Anything.
But I don't know how hurt you can get.
Depends.
He punched him after he was down.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And then he sprayed him with some kind of what was it? Some pain relief medicine. I was laughing, kind of laughing a little bit.
I'm not a fan of Conor McGregor.
Me neither. I don't like him at all. I've been around him before. And but being under fire for punching a Heat mascot, apparently the same night, same venue, he was accused doing a
different sort of punching.
Right, of raping a woman at the NBA Finals game in Miami. So he's been in trouble a lot. He gets in trouble quite a bit. So he was accused Thursday of raping a woman in the bathroom of the venue where the Miami Heat play. And of course, he came under fire earlier for punching out the Heat mascot. Here are some of the comments. And again, America, it's for you. We have some comments here talking about Conor McGregor. The Jedi Republic. I hope she is found guilty. Right. The Jedi Republic is. I hope she is found guilty of extortion and sentenced accordingly. Okay, so this guy right off the bat, boom. Okay, here's a guy, peace, love, bad boys, what you want to do, what you want to go, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown comes for you. So apparently they're thinking that they're going to come back, go after McGregor.
I hope the mascot, whoever does the mascot, they have every right to file for assault, right? Assault and battery or whatever.
Well, again, if it was supposed to be a setup and he's supposed to pretend like he got hit, well, if he got hit twice, we'll see how that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
but
He wasn't choking him.
right. Well, here's one from Washington Democrats. Must have happened right after Meghan and Harry Markle's big 2-hour-long paparazzi car chase through New York City. Who's Conor McGregor? Potential hair sniffer?
oh my God.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, here's another one. Blue no more. Whoa, the female elbowed her way out of Mac's clutches. Why don't his opponents know of this move?
That's a good
Wow.
I
Here's
like
another
that
one. Them belly full. Remember the college survivor that carried a mattress with her to all her classes, trying to draw attention to her own alleged campus assault?
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, not a bunch of people are favored Conor McGregor. There's a couple that are, probably on the
The
women's
ones that are
side.
probably diehard MMA fans.
Right. So I don't know which Conor McGregor. We seem to reward people of his stature and this kind of thing with money and being able to do things what you want. And all of a sudden, they just get this ego around them that they can do whatever they want. Again, accusations. It's hard to be someone famous in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Social media
Yeah,
is the death of that.
You can't be friendly to someone without someone planning an attack on you personally.
Speaking of attack, I don't mean to divulge it, but did you hear about that there was somebody was planning an attack at T-Mobile Arena hours before the hockey game, and fortunately they called in a threat and they found the person, and he had made the threat. They got the guy. So that was not a joke. That was actually real. Somebody
Was that
was like 3 hours before the game.
what they call in to the stadium? Or
He
the
was
police?
in a store nearby, something with a night store or whatever. He was nearby, said it to the cashier, something along the lines of, "Just wait, I can't wait to kill all you all at the hockey game tonight," something like that, paraphrasing. And then they called in and they had pictures of him, and they got the guy about 3 hours before game time. No, they didn't say if they found anything to actually do anything.
Right.
But you make a threat, folks,
Yeah.
you're in
Right.
trouble.
You're going to get questioned for sure.
At least.
Here's a guy, Patriot Calm 1. I cannot stand this guy, but why would they shove her into a men's bathroom? And I doubt he did what she accuses him of with a bathroom full of witnesses. Now, they're also accusing some of his security staff.
Okay.
Also. So that's where that
Well,
comes.
women sometimes go in the men's room. If the women's room is lying, it's like forever. That's not unusual.
Well, in this day and age, you can't stop the opposite sex from going into the opposite sex's bathroom, right? In today's world, especially
Really?
in my business, if we see a male go into a female bathroom, we can't stop.
Wow. Okay.
It's terrible. Here's a guy, Mr. Invisible,
So that's
292.
not a law, that's just something that your company says don't do.
Yeah, we can't do it. In a casino, we'd have to call the casino security to go in there, and they would have to get a female officer or whatever it is, however, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're reading, we're on our phone, and you walk into the wrong bathroom. I've done it. I would certainly hope somebody would
Well,
come
that's
in.
a good excuse.
It is. I would hope somebody would say, oops. And
That would have been on the camera mode.
well, I'll tell you one thing. It didn't happen to me. I walked to a women's bathroom, used it, and walked out, and there was 3 women waiting. I said, "Are you guys waiting for something, ladies? Oh, you're in the women's bathroom." And I looked up, and I was apologizing profusely. But that's what you do. Today, you just, whatever, let him go in. Here's a guy. I find it hard to believe that McGregor, with his money, would feel the need to do something this brash, aggressive, and blatantly criminal in a public restroom. Women follow his entourage like stray cats. He can bed any one of them without a snap of his fingers voluntarily. So I get that.
Mhm.
So I don't know what's going to happen. Again, it's hard to be a celebrity in today's world. Like you said, social media has ruined it in a lot of ways, but
Mhm.
you can't, when you're in that type of position, I would do everything I could not to even go out. That would force me not to want to go out.
Right.
You bump into someone by accident. Oh, he tried to punch me. It's just all this kind of crazy
It's
stuff.
so funny you said that. In my class yesterday, there was the room that we're in was the teacher I'm working with was her room throughout the year. And what they have to do is get anything that's stapled out of the wall and taken down. Well, above the big wardrobe closet at a point I couldn't reach unless I climbed up top. So I said, well, maybe I'll help one of the students climb up there, right? And someone I'm thinking about who's tall enough, if they stand on top of the wardrobe closet, they still get it.
Right.
So I was thought about one of the young, now keep in mind, 3rd grade students. And I said to the teacher, I said, well, maybe so-and-so would do it. And then I said, you know what? We're gonna have to scrap that idea. I said, because if I help this child up and for whatever the reason, I'm not positioning her correctly, I don't want any phone calls saying you did this and that and the other thing.
Appropriately,
Correct.
yeah.
And so I said, you know what? We'll
Yeah.
wait on that one.
Well, it's like
Let's get a ladder.
in concert mode, when we have the barricades set up
Yes.
and we have guards there, and they allow people to fly over the barricade and do their thing and do the whatever they get carried
Right.
across, and you'll have women, and then we've taught how to grab these women over the barricade
Mm-hmm.
without getting too touchy-feely. And again, these women are drunk, and sometimes they fly over at an angle where you sometimes grab them,
You have to catch him.
or by their hand actually touches their butt when you're trying
Right.
to get them over. Next thing you know, there's a lawsuit. It just makes everything uncomfortable
Yeah.
and no fun to do anymore.
Just let them fall.
Yeah, and then you get in
No
trouble
fun,
for
not-
that.
Not great, not groping anybody. anymore.
Right. Yeah, and it's no fun anymore. We used to be able to. No, never.
Used to be able to grope.
Right,
Sorry, I meant to
right.
catch you.
Now here's another MHHW33. A very strong, trained man isn't elbowing him and getting away. Does she know what he's done for a living for most of his life? Apparently, she didn't file charges. She just sent a letter.
Oh.
So you didn't file charges. So now you're trying to.
So if no charges were filed, why are we even talking about it?
Well, because
It's
the
social
news
media.
is. Yeah,
Mhm.
social media. It's on there. So that's about, for that America speech. You guys have said your piece about Conor McGregor. Again, seems like most of them were siding with him.
Mm-hmm.
Again and again, if you're in a position like he is, especially in the sport you're in, you know damn well that you better not do anything wrong or even misappropriate any type of situation. Just walk away from it.
Well, especially when you're under the microscope like he is for all of
Right.
his past issues. No, there's no surprise with that stuff.
All right, here's another one. Again, had been talked about this. Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a couple.
Oh yeah, the A's are coming.
Well, I guess a couple of teams had some options about celebrating Pride Night.
Okay.
They've decided not to make it a league-wide event.
Okay.
Let the teams decide if they want to celebrate it or not. Now, first of all, in my opinion, if a team doesn't want to celebrate a particular, doesn't matter, LGBTQ, whatever, doesn't make them haters. It doesn't. So now the LGBT community has gotten really, really butthurt about a lot of things. And it's too bad that they have to not everybody's going to agree. Not every team has to support, LGBTQ Pride Night or Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that they hate you or don't like you or disapprove or whatever. It just means that they don't want to celebrate it. And there's a lot of people that might find offense to it in the first place.
You mean like taking a knee during the national anthem?
I don't like that either. If you want to take a knee, take it, but not when you're working. If I took a knee at work, I'd be sent home and fired immediately.
So what about the coach?
No coach.
What about the high school coach that makes his team kneel for prayer before every game?
Not makes.
Yes, he does.
Well, it's not about making. If you're a high school student and the coach says get on a knee and pray, you do it. I don't care if you're a Muslim
That's
or a
exactly
fucking
right.
Jew. You do it.
Whoa,
Right.
whoa, whoa,
You
whoa,
do
whoa,
it.
whoa,
Hey,
whoa,
I'm
whoa.
Jewish.
I
I'm
know
just
you
saying.
I know you are.
Because-
And I'm just saying
But my percentage of Judaism is bigger than yours.
it is. But what
If
I'm
I was
saying
a-
is you're a kid. You just do it.
Mm,
You're at a.
I
You're.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I
I would
never-
go up to.
I don't know.
wouldn't
In the
defi- I wouldn't
70s,
define.
you
I
just
wouldn't
do.
define him in front of everybody. I would say, Coach, I'm Jewish. I don't believe in that.
You don't have to
And-
believe. You just do it. Just
If
be
you're
the-
telling me to take a knee, put my helmet on my arm, and we're going to get a pep talk, that's one thing. But if you're telling me as part of playing on your team prior to a game, I must get on one knee and pray
well, you don't
Jesus
just
and save our Lord and save our bodies and everything else.
If-
That's not what I believe in. I would
you don't
never do
have to
that.
believe
Then
it.
I'd
You
quit
just-
the team.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if the coach says, okay, I was a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in high school.
Mhm.
You'd get on the knee. It was supposed to be a friendly competition. You had to get on the field with your opponent.
Sure.
God bless the team, blah, blah, blah. You just do it and you get up. Hey,
Now,
guys,
if the
you
coach-
just do it.
if the
What
coach
if
said-
the coach was Muslim?
It's not going to happen that way anyway.
I
Why
would.
not?
First of all, this is a Christian country. All religions are okay, but certain situations. I went to a military school when I was told to do something. You just do it. Just do
That's
it.
military
You put everything behind you, and you just be the good person, and you do it.
Now, if the coach
It
said,
doesn't mean you have to change your religion because they're asking you to sit on knee for 30 seconds with
if
your
the
other
coach,
teammates.
if the coach said, take a knee for 30 seconds for a moment of silence, that we do at my school every morning. I'm
Right.
okay with that.
Right.
But
What-
don't make me
That's
pray
different.
with was the coach leading a prayer?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, if it
There's
has
nothing
Jesus
wrong with
Christ and Mother Mary and God, I'm sorry. Even in Kiwanis International, when I was lieutenant governor, and the meal, the prayers over the meals, and they had all that in there. I never said I stood, but when it came to everybody saying and in His name Jesus Christ, I never said it. And when I was asked to do that, the invocation, mine was very generic. Mine was very inspirational. Had nothing to do with it. I would say amen at the end, but it had nothing to do. I could have said from Rabbi Schultz. I mean, that would have probably upset people the other way.
well, it's like
But
us
you
with
shouldn't
work.
force anybody because this is still a free country, and you should not force. I don't
It's
care
not
how
about
old they are.
Forcing. It's
Sure, it is.
for
You just
30
told me the coach
seconds.
forced them to do it.
Not
Tell the
forced. They
kids-
have to come out on the field. Okay, team, let's get down
Take
on
a
one
knee
knee.
for 30 seconds of silence.
Right.
That's it. Whatever you want to think about, that's different. But praying
Well,
for sure.
If we were at work in the security world, especially, We have Muslims that we work with.
Got to wrap up.
Yeah, they're not allowed to. Well, I have prayer time at 2, and they set out a mat in the middle of the Thomas
Sure.
and Mac. No,
No, I understand.
no. If we have to supply you with or provide you with a little tiny room on your break, you can do it.
I agree with that.
But that's it.
I agree
No,
with that.
we've just gotten too far with all of this.
You know
you
who
know-
started it, don't you? Tim Tebow, when he was with the Broncos.
Well, no, he was.
no. Colin Kaepernick with the kneeling
There
at the
are two
Stars
different
Bank.
reasons why they were doing it.
Kaepernick was advised by
Wasn't advised.
a military
A guy gave him his blessing. He didn't advise. Hey,
A military
No,
guy.
he said, if you're going to do that, take a knee. If you
He
want
was
to protest
wrong.
this,
take
he
a
was
knee.
a fucking Green Beret.
Outside of work, you do it. You don't. I would
No,
get
but-
fired at work
we're
if I
talking
did
about-
anything.
but
And
he's talking
Tim
about the
Tebow was a Christian. We're against Christians now. The LGBT community. The LGBT community has a rainbow. They didn't just pick the rainbow out. Oh, to represent all the colors of the world.
They stole it from God.
Correct. They did it on purpose because they knew the Christians would hate it.
Join me
That's the
tomorrow at
reason
9
they did
a.m.
it.
from 9 to 10
That's it.
a.m. as Kiwanis Connects.
It's all true.
Governor Val
We're all
and I
afraid to
will
talk
welcome
about
the
it.
3 candidates for vice president for Kiwanis International coming up at the International Convention at the end of the month in Minneapolis. We will welcome Michael Mulhall, Chuck Fletcher, and hopefully Kip Crane. We're waiting for his confirmation. They will join us tomorrow. Just talk about their background, what their platform is, and what they look forward to help shape Kiwanis International for the future. Okay, the voice is going to try to close it out as we say thank you. I'm afraid to ask the mouth for his final thoughts as we say goodbye,
The
but I will
usual
do it
thoughts.
anyway.
But the usual. Keep your head above water, guys. We live in a crazy world, as you've just heard some of our conversation. Just keep your head above water. Go to work. Do your thing. And keep your family and friends safe.
Absolutely. All right. With that, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all I have. Hopefully, Rick will be back with us next week on the Roundtable. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Kiwanis Connects. Thank you, everybody. Be safe, be happy, and wealthy. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching.